City of Stars. In the vibrant, colorful streets of Jaipur, a city known for its rich heritage and bustling markets, there lived a young woman named Zara. Zara was 19, full of life and deeply passionate about art. She spent her free time sketching and sharing her creations online, a way to escape the pressure of university and the weight of her family's expectations. Jaipur was her home, but Zara always felt like there was something more waiting for her beyond the sandstone walls of the Pink City. One evening, while scrolling through her social media feed after finishing a sketch of Jaipur's famous Hawa Mahal, Zara came across a post by a girl named Noor. Noor was a writer, her words flowing like poetry, describing life and love in a way that resonated deeply with Zara. Noor's post was a piece about sunsets, loss, and hope, all wrapped in delicate prose. Zara felt an instant connection, as if the words were meant for her. Without overthinking, Zara sent a message to Noor, praising her writing. To her surprise, Noor replied almost immediately, thanking her for the kind words. From that simple interaction, a friendship blossomed. They began chatting every day, exchanging messages about their passions, Zara with her art, and Noor with her love for literature. Soon, the conversation flowed into personal topics, their dreams, their families, and the struggles of navigating young adulthood in a world full of expectations. For weeks, they talked about everything under the sun, from Bollywood films they adored to the challenges of being independent women in a society that still held traditional values tightly. Their messages became the highlights of Zara's day, each one lighting up her phone with a warmth that felt like home. Zara was drawn to Noor's kindness, the way her words were always so thoughtful, and the way she made Zara feel understood in a way no one else ever had. One day, as the monsoon rains drummed gently against her window, Zara received a voice note from Noor. She hesitated for a moment before pressing play, her heart racing slightly. Noor's voice was soft, melodic, and full of emotion. "Zara," she began, "have you ever wondered what love really is? Do you think it's possible to fall in love without even meeting someone?" Zara's breath caught in her throat. Could Noor be talking about them? She spent the rest of the evening thinking about Noor's question, her mind swirling with possibilities. Had she too been falling in love with Noor without realizing it? As the days passed, the question lingered and Zara found herself daydreaming about Noor more often, imagining what it would be like to sit beside her, to share moments in person that felt as intimate as their online conversations. After many sleepless nights and endless internal debates, Zara finally decided to be brave. One night, under a sky dotted with stars, she typed out her feelings in a message. Her fingers trembled as she wrote, "Noor, I think I'm falling for you. I know it sounds crazy, but I can't stop thinking about you." She hit send before she could second-guess herself. For what felt like hours, her phone remained silent. Then a buzz. Noor had replied. "I've been feeling the same way." Noor's message began. "I was afraid to tell you, but I think we need to meet. I don't want to keep wondering what this could be." Zara's heart soared, and for the first time in a long time, she felt a sense of peace, like everything was falling into place. They arranged to meet at a quiet cafe in Jaipur's historic district. The day of their meeting arrived, and Zara was a bundle of nerves as she made her way through the city's winding streets. Her heart raced with every step. When Zara entered the cafe, she immediately spotted Noor, sitting by a large window with sunlight streaming in, casting a golden glow around her. Noor's face lit up the moment she saw Zara walk in. "Hey Zara," she said, her voice just as warm in person as it had been over the phone. Zara's nerves melted away as she walked over to sit across from her. They spent hours in that little cafe, drinking chai and sharing pastries. The conversation flowed effortlessly, just like their messages. Zara felt an overwhelming sense of ease being with Noor, like meeting someone she had always known. When Noor reached across the table to hold her hand, Zara felt a calm warmth settle over her heart. It was real. Their connection wasn't just some fleeting fantasy born online. It was here, in front of her, as tangible as the gentle touch of Noor's hand in hers. As they walked through the ancient streets of Jaipur after their meeting, the sun began to set, casting hues of pink and orange across the sky. They wandered into the city's quieter corners, where the sounds of bustling markets faded into the soft hum of evening. Zara stopped, turning to face Noor, her heart full of emotion. "I didn't think it was possible to feel like this," Zara whispered, her voice trembling with both fear and excitement. "I didn't think I'd ever meet someone like you." Noor smiled, brushing a strand of Zara's hair away from her face. "Neither did I," she said softly. "But here we are." They stood together, hand in hand, watching the sun dip below the horizon, knowing that their journey had only just begun. The city of Jaipur, with all its noise and chaos, faded into the background, leaving only the two of them in the vastness of the night sky, filled with endless stars. In that moment, Zara realized something. Love, no matter how it begins, can grow into something beautiful if given the chance. And in Noor, she had found not only love but a kindred spirit who made her feel seen, understood, and cherished. Together they would navigate whatever challenges came their way, because what they had was rare, and it was worth fighting for. And so, under the stars in the heart of Jaipur, Zara and Noor began their next chapter, their story written in the quiet moments they shared, in the art they created, and in the love they had found in each other. The next chapter. The weeks following their first meeting were filled with moments that felt like a dream. Zara and Noor found themselves drawn to each other like magnets, spending more and more time together. Their bond, once limited to messages and calls, now flourished in the real world. They met at every opportunity, exploring the vibrant streets of Jaipur, hand in hand. The city was their canvas, and they painted it with memories. From quiet afternoons in the city palace courtyard to long walks by the Mansagar Lake, where the reflection of the Jal Mahal shimmered like something out of a fairy tale, every corner of Jaipur became a place where their love quietly bloomed. One day they decided to visit Amber Fort, an ancient stronghold perched high above the city. Zara had always loved the way the fort stood tall against the sky, like a guardian watching over Jaipur. As they climbed the winding path together, Zara glanced at Noor, whose eyes sparkled with excitement as she marveled at the architecture and the stories carved into the walls. "Do you ever think about the people who lived here?" Noor asked as they reached a quiet balcony overlooking the rolling hills. The breeze was cool, and the sun hung low, casting a warm glow on the landscape. Zara smiled, leaning on the stone railing. "All the time. I wonder if they ever felt what we're feeling now, the thrill of something new, something real." Noor turned to her, eyes full of emotion. "Maybe they did. Maybe that's why we're here, standing in this exact spot, feeling this way. Like the universe wanted us to find each other." The weight of her words settled in Zara's heart. It was moments like this that made her realize just how deep her feelings for Noor had grown. She had never imagined that someone could make her feel so understood, so complete. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, Zara felt a surge of emotion. She had never believed in destiny, but Noor made her question everything. She reached out and gently took Noor's hand, their fingers intertwining naturally. Noor looked up at her, her smile soft and full of warmth. "I don't know how we got here," Zara began, her voice quiet but steady. "But I know I don't want to be anywhere else." Noor squeezed her hand gently, her eyes misting with emotion. "Neither do I." They stood there in silence for a moment, watching the sun dip behind the hills, knowing that this was one of those rare moments that would stay with them forever. The more time they spent together, the more their love grew, but so did their challenges. In a city like Jaipur, where tradition often carried more weight than personal choice, Zara and Noor's relationship was something they kept private. They couldn't hold hands in public without fearing judgment, and the question of how long they could hide their love from their families hung over them like a storm cloud. Zara's family had always been loving and supportive, but they had expectations for her future. Expectations that didn't include falling in love with another woman. They wanted her to marry a man, settle down, and follow the path that generations before her had walked. Noor's family was much the same, conservative in their views, with little understanding of what it meant to love someone outside the norm. One evening, Zara sat with her mother in their small living room, the air thick with the scent of jasmine and the quiet hum of the ceiling fan. She watched her mother, who was knitting by the window, her face serene and unaware of the storm brewing inside Zara's heart. "Amy, can I talk to you about something?" Zara asked, her voice hesitant. Her mother glanced up, smiling softly. "Of course, Beta. What's on your mind?" Zara took a deep breath, feeling her chest tighten. She wanted to tell her mother everything. About Noor. About how her heart had found a home in someone so unexpected. But the fear of disappointment and rejection was like a wall she couldn't break through. Instead, she simply said, "What if I don't want to marry? What if I want to do something different with my life?" Her mother paused, her knitting needles stilling for a moment. She looked at Zara with concern but also love. "Every girl feels that way at some point, Zara. But you'll see when the time comes you'll find someone, and everything will fall into place." Zara nodded, her heart heavy. She didn't push the conversation further, knowing that for now the truth would have to remain hidden. Noor faced similar struggles. One night, after a particularly tense conversation with her family about arranged marriage, Noor called Zara, her voice trembling. "They keep talking about proposals," Noor said, her voice thick with emotion. "I don't know how much longer I can keep this from them. I'm scared, Zara. What if they never accept us?" Zara's heart ached hearing the fear in Noor's voice. She wanted nothing more than to protect her, to create a world where they could love each other without fear. But she knew that wasn't the world they lived in. "We'll figure it out," Zara whispered, trying to sound braver than she felt. "We'll face it together, Noor. I promise." Months passed, and though their love remained strong, the weight of their secrets began to take its toll. Zara and Noor often found themselves lost in conversations about the future, about whether they could ever truly be together in a society that didn't understand their love. Each time they promised each other that they would find a way, but the uncertainty never fully disappeared. One afternoon, as the monsoon rains poured down over the city, they found refuge in a small cafe tucked away in one of Jaipur's narrow streets. The sound of the rain against the windows was soothing, but their conversation was anything but. "What if we just leave?" Noor asked suddenly, her eyes filled with a mix of hope and desperation. "What if we move somewhere no one knows us? Start fresh?" Zara sighed, her heart torn. She wanted that more than anything, to escape the pressure, the judgment, the fear. But she also knew the cost of leaving everything behind. "I want that too," Zara admitted, reaching for Noor's hand across the table. "But we'd be leaving our families, our lives. Can we really do that?" Noor looked down at their intertwined fingers, silent for a moment. "I don't know," she whispered. "But I do know that I can't imagine my life without you." Zara's heart swelled with emotion. She couldn't imagine her life without Noor either. But the road ahead was uncertain, and the choices they faced were far from easy. As they sat there watching the rain fall, Zara realized that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she and Noor would have to face them together. Their love was too precious, too real to let slip away. They didn't have all the answers yet, but they had each other. And in the heart of Jaipur, that was enough for now. With the weight of the world pressing down on them, Zara and Noor made a silent promise to each other, a vow that no matter what came their way, they would find a way to be together. Their love, after all, was worth fighting for, even in a world that wasn't always kind to those who dared to love differently. And so they walked out of the cafe, hand in hand, into the rain-soaked streets, knowing that while the future was uncertain, the love they had built was unshakable. The city of Jaipur, with all its beauty and complexity, had given them a love story, one that was far from over. As the monsoon rains began to soften, Zara and Noor made their way through the bustling streets of Jaipur, their hearts heavy with unspoken words and lingering fears. The world around them was alive with color and sound, but within their own little bubble, it felt as if time had slowed. Each step echoed the uncertainty they faced, yet each moment together was a reminder of the love they had built. A few weeks passed, and the tension with their families grew. Zara's parents began discussing potential matches for her future, while Noor's family pressured her to meet with suitors. The weight of these expectations felt like chains binding them, threatening to pull them apart. Zara often found herself lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, her heart aching with the thought of losing Noor. One evening, as they sat beneath the stars in the small garden of Noor's family home, they shared their fears, their voices barely above a whisper. The fragrant night air was thick with jasmine, but it felt heavy with unspoken words. "What if we can't keep doing this?" Noor's voice trembled as she leaned against Zara's shoulder. "What if we can't fight against our families forever?" Zara's heart ached at the vulnerability in Noor's words. "I don't know," she admitted, pulling Noor closer. "But I do know that I love you, and that has to count for something." Tears welled in Noor's eyes. "But love isn't always enough, is it? Not when everything feels so impossible." "Maybe not," Zara said, her voice thick with emotion. "But I refuse to give up on us. We owe it to ourselves to try to find a way, no matter how hard it is." Noor turned to look at Zara, her gaze searching. "What if we were to leave? What if we really did start over somewhere new?" Zara hesitated, her heart racing at the thought. "It sounds so tempting, but it also feels like running away. I don't want to run. I want to stand and fight for what we have." Noor sighed, the weight of her emotions palpable. "I wish things were different. I wish we didn't have to choose between love and family." Zara cupped Noor's face, wiping away a stray tear. "We don't have to choose. We can create our own family, build our own life. But it won't be easy." As the stars twinkled overhead, illuminating their faces with a soft glow, Zara felt a wave of determination wash over her. "Let's make a plan. We'll talk to our families. Together." But as they sat in silence, both girls knew that confronting their families wouldn't be as simple as making a plan. The fear of rejection loomed larger than ever, wrapping around them like a thick fog. Days turned into weeks, and the pressure grew heavier. Each day felt like a ticking clock, the countdown to inevitable conversations pressing down on them. The excitement of planning their future was overshadowed by the reality of what lay ahead. Finally, the day came when they could no longer avoid it. Zara and Noor agreed to meet at a secluded park, a quiet space where they could think and breathe without the watchful eyes of their families. The air was crisp, a welcome relief from the summer heat, but the tension was palpable. Zara arrived first, her heart racing as she paced beneath the towering banyan trees. She thought about her mother's smile, the way she always looked at her with such love and pride. The thought of shattering that image made her stomach twist in knots. When Noor arrived, her face was pale, her eyes brimming with anxiety. "Are you ready?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Zara nodded, though she felt anything but ready. "Let's do this." They took a deep breath, their hands intertwined, and made their way to the nearest cafe, the familiar place where they had spent so many happy moments. With each step, Zara felt the weight of the world pressing down, but the warmth of Noor's hand gave her strength. As they sat across from their families, their hearts raced in tandem. Zara's parents wore expressions of confusion and concern, while Noor's family seemed caught between disbelief and disappointment. "I don't understand," Zara's father began, his voice steady but full of concern. Why would you choose this? Why can't you follow the path that's been laid out for you? Noor swallowed hard, her voice shaking as she replied. Because this is who we are. We can't change that. We love each other and we want to be happy. Isn't that what you want for us? Zara felt her heart pounding in her chest as she watched the tension unfold. Her mother's eyes flickered with a mix of sadness and understanding, while her father seemed frozen in disbelief. Love doesn't always look the same, Zara said, summoning all the courage she had. But it is real. It's not something to be ashamed of. Noor's hand squeezed Zara's, a silent agreement that they were in this together, come what may. As the conversation continued, emotions ran high. Zara's father argued passionately about tradition and duty, while Noor's family struggled to understand. They listened, tears brimming in their eyes, but each word felt like another wall being built between them. When the discussion finally came to a close, it was clear that neither family was ready to accept them fully. Heartbroken but resolute, Zara and Noor stepped outside, the weight of the world crashing down on their shoulders. Under the night sky where stars shone brightly, they turned to each other. The pain in their hearts was unbearable, but in each other's eyes, they found the solace they needed. Maybe we weren't meant to change their minds, Noor said softly, her voice breaking. But we still have each other, right? Zara's heart ached, but she nodded. Always. No matter what happens, I'll always be here for you. They stood in silence, the cool breeze wrapping around them like a comforting embrace. But as the reality of their situation settled in, they knew the path ahead would be difficult. The love they had found in each other was real, but the world around them was unforgiving. As they looked up at the stars, Zara realized that while they might face an uphill battle, their love was a guiding light, one that would illuminate their way through the darkness. We'll find our way, Noor, Zara vowed, her heart filled with both fear and hope. We just need to be brave enough to keep moving forward. Noor looked at her, tears streaming down her cheeks. I don't want to lose you, Zara. You won't, Zara whispered, pulling Noor into a tight embrace. We'll face whatever comes next, together. And so, beneath the starlit sky, they stood together, two hearts intertwined, facing an uncertain future but grounded in the love that had brought them together. No matter how hard the road ahead would be, they knew they would always have each other. And in that they found a flicker of hope, a promise that their love would endure, even in the face of adversity. As they walked away from the cafe, hand in hand, the world around them faded into the background. Their love, fierce and unwavering, became their beacon, guiding them through the shadows toward the light of possibility, toward a future they would fight to create together.